That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode 121 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. My name is Adam. I am one of four friends. Up next we have Sam.
Heyo.
Then we have John.
Hello.
And finally, we have Brett.
Hi guys.
Brett's not here. This is probably the latest ever dropout we've had. We planned to record at 7:15. We got a WhatsApp message at 7:15 saying Brett's having a nightmare. He's really busy with work. He's got loads going on and he can't make it.
Oh, hold on. I think Brett's text literally just says he's having a nightmare with no further clarification. So I like to think he is asleep and just struggling with a bad dream.
I reckon it's more like a moral dilemma. He really enjoyed the Braun Strowman match and he doesn't know where that puts him now.
Maybe.
Well, makes him mates with me.
Just sat there watching SummerSlam wondering, where is King Corbin?
Do you know what this pay-per-view is missing?
Poor old Brett. He messaged us earlier today to say that he'd struggled to watch SummerSlam. He was having to work at the same time. So to be honest, listener, you're probably not missing, any hugely hot takes from Brett. Is that fair or is that harsh?
I would say that's kind of par for the course for Brett.
Oh my God, you guys are so mean.
It's what you do to the person who's missing. Didn't you listen to the episode you weren't on?
Yeah, it was very good. What was it? Oh, it was the Mars one. It was the Mars one.
It was.
The Mars Bar episode.
Oh,
yeah.
I still got 2 picks in the top 5 without even being on the pod.
Yeah.
You did phone it in a little bit with the old Viscera pick.
I totally phoned it in. I think they're both picks that either I've used or I've definitely used Viscera before. I think someone else has used. Let me get the name right. Lanny Poffo. There we go.
Yes, that was our last podcast. Episode 120 was the top 5 wrestlers to send on a mission to Mars. And Lanny Poffo made it, didn't he? And as did Viscera.
For any listeners who's curious as to how Viscera ends up on Mars, just go back and listen to that, I guess.
Go back and have a listen. And anybody who did listen will remember that the little interlude that we had halfway between our picks, I posed the question to Brett and Sam, how many Mars bars do you think you can eat in one setting? Basically, we got to the point where I said I thought I could do 9. The next day, an Amazon delivery turned up, which isn't rare since lockdown. I've been getting an awful lot of those. But it was a multi-pack of Mars bars. And it had a little message from Sam saying, what was it? Adam, 9 bars. I severely doubt you can do this. Prove me wrong, or something along those lines. So there we go.
Wow.
I haven't done it. I haven't done the challenge. But I have eaten all of the Mars bars.
Have you really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my wife and I have eaten all of them, which is dreadful. I mean, we've both been having one a night.
Really? There was like 20 in that pack.
Sometimes 2 a night. Yeah, well, that's only... I mean, do the maths. 20, one a night each. 10
Goodness
days.
me. Wow. I'm like a remote feeder.
You are. I appreciate that, but we're out of Mars bars now, Sam, so I'm going to set you some sort of question about Twixes halfway through this and wait by the front door tomorrow. So that was the last podcast. This podcast, of course, will be the SummerSlam review. We're also going to give away a t-shirt. We've got a t-shirt giveaway coming up at the end of this, so stay tuned for that. But before we get into all of that, should we do a quick, and we'll try and keep it reasonably quick because there's lots of SummerSlam to talk about, a quick takeover chat. Have we both watched it? Have we all watched it? Even there's 3 of us.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, I was sorting stuff out for the pod in the background whilst. So the last match, Cross versus Lee, I was half in, half out.
All right. Well, I have to admit that I watched all of it except that match on Sunday night, and then I just haven't got around to watching that match yet. So, Sam, you're going to have to review that. But, John, what did you think in general of TakeOver?
I thought it was okay. I thought the ladder match was really standout. That was really good fun. Dakota Kai versus Io Shirai was also really good. I didn't like Thatcher Balor. And I thought the main event, from what I saw of it, was... I didn't like that very much either. It was okay. But I think Killian Cross was injured halfway through it, apparently.
Yeah, he was. He had a separated shoulder.
That sounds pretty bloody painful.
Fucking hell. Well, how was that main event? So,
To be honest, it wasn't the best main event I've seen on TakeOver. I think kind of maybe the two styles didn't gel very well. It was pretty much kind of Keith Lee just getting beaten up for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, it just kind of, it never really kind of clicked into second gear for me, that. And then obviously with the result that happened, kind of Karrion Kross going over, it was fairly obvious that Keith Lee was not long for NXT.
yeah, that is a positive. That's something that I was quite excited about when I saw the spoiler.
Though?
Well, I mean, having just literally before this pod watched his involvement in Raw last night.
And his new theme music.
Oh my God, new theme music.
Oh.
He shaved off his beard. He's now wearing a compression top instead of being topless.
No.
He's got these baggy shorts, baggy shorts that look a bit like a kilt. I thought it was a kilt initially.
Are they doing a Chris Hero on us here?
They're doing a WWE on us, you know, when someone leaves NXT and they just absolutely...
He raps his own entrance music. Why would you get rid of that? It's not as if it's... I don't understand. I really don't understand.
Very strange choices. But yeah, so look forward to watching Keith on Raw.
Oh,
That's so weird as well, because it's like Raw viewers have seen him before. Like, he was in the Rumble, he smashed it in the NXT Survivor Series stuff. Like,
I did a little bit of reading up on the theme music thing, and apparently it's to do with like CFOS basically making their music, but WWE have cut the deal with them, kind of stopped working with them now, and so they don't get the same royalties, and so kind of everyone's being advised to get new music. It's business. It's rubbish business.
But so what's the business with him putting on a top? Is it purely Vince going, oh, look at those titties, we can't have those on show unless they're a woman's? Put on a top. That impression really went south.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
He looks great. He looks great in a little pair of shorts.
I mean,
he's got stretch marks, but that's normal. It's natural.
Because he's gigantic.
It's good for people to see that.
Time will tell. Keith Lee, kind of, we all know he's a mega talent, and he's reached the top of the mountain at NXT. I think kind of perhaps it's a good thing that he doesn't stay on that for too long. I mean, I know it's obviously enjoyable watching him there, but kind of wrestlers who perhaps overstay their welcome in NXT don't transition as well to the main roster. Whereas if you look at someone like perhaps a Drew McIntyre, who
Baron Corbin?
Well, that's the thing, is that kind of Drew McIntyre wasn't champion for that long, and he's done all right on the main roster. And Baron Corbin, it's Baron Corbin. You'll get what you get from Baron Corbin.
Oh, this is really annoying me. I was really excited when they sort of announced it during SummerSlam that Keith Lee was going to be on Raw. And this has really put the downers on it.
Well,
plus his match got interrupted. He had a match with Randy Orton, and then out comes Drew, and the match doesn't finish.
Yeah,
and the bell goes, and he's left there looking like a knob.
But he's going to be on the next pay-per-view for Payback, so maybe that will be an interesting indication as to where they go with him.
You know, they're just going to do like a series of squash matches, aren't they? And then they just fade into nothingness.
I think he'll fade into a tag team division.
He's got too much charisma for this guy, so let's be positive.
Yeah, we hope he's going to do well.
If anyone can, he can.
He is limitless.
I tell you what, actually, the promo he cut on Raw against Randy Orton was very good.
He's a good promo.
Yeah, he is. Okay, well, we could go more into detail. I think the thing with takeovers now is that they're just not... basically, they were so good for so long, and especially since we've lost the live audience, there's a few more ups and downs. The quality, we're just not getting those absolute belters.
Quick mention for Pat McAfee's.
Oh, yeah, that was outrageous.
McAfee, he was bloody good. Really impressive. Did you see how sweaty his arse crack was?
I'm not surprised.
I renamed him Pat Wet Crackafee during this match, which I wrote down.
Renamed him for who? Like, was there an audience there for us?
Just for me.
Just for
this
the
pod
podcast.
moving forward.
Thanks, Adam.
Pat Wet Crackafee. But yeah, pretty amazing debut. On a weekend of pretty decent debuts, of course. We'll talk about another one of those later. Should we move on? Should we get to SummerSlam? Let's have a break, and then let's talk about SummerSlam 2020.
Oh, wait a minute. No, Daniel Bryan's got Big Cass set up here on the apron. Hardest part of the ring. Oh, man. My goodness.
SummerSlam 2020 was held at the Thunderdome.
Is that your Vince?
No, it's just I think how people
okay.
should say Thunderdome.
Big voice. I feel they missed a trick here. I can't believe they didn't pay the money and get Tina Turner to introduce us.
Right? Exactly.
Just pay the cash.
Oh, man.
I can't imagine what state Tina Turner's in right now. I'm going to Google her.
Beyond Thunderdome is my favourite Mad Max movie by a mile. It's really good.
It's really good.
She's 80 years old.
So?
Yeah, Vince
Mind you,
is
they had Mae
74.
Young. Yeah.
Yeah, Mae Young. She would probably
I've
go
seen
through a
Goldberg
table.
wrestling recently.
I mean, I'm worried that we're going to go off on loads of tangents, but there's 3 of us. So that means there'll be fewer words, which means the pod will be normal length. Did you see? Well, you did see because we shared it on our WhatsApp group. That video of Vince jumping off showing Mojo how to jump off. It wasn't Mojo, was it? Who was he showing?
Gronk how to take a
how to jump off a
Gronk.
platform at WrestleMania. Wow! Listeners, if you haven't seen that, have a look. For this is the first time I've had any respect for Vince in about
That's harsh.
ever.
Ever?
Not ever. Okay, in the last few years, let's go for that because there is a little bit of respect for some of the early work.
Little bit of respect for the work that Vince McMahon has done.
Oh, come on. we hate him. Look, we've just been talking about what he's done to Keith Lee.
He's a bit evil, don't get me wrong, but I mean, look what he's done. We wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for Vince McMahon.
Look at all those redundancies.
It's a little bit like hating Mr. Burns and The Simpsons, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, amazing bump he took.
Amazing.
Yes.
It was funny because obviously Gronk was looking really nervous and Vince just climbs over the rail, look, just do this, boom, done. Gets up, in a suit.
I like the idea of Mojo Rawley watching that and just taking notes like, oh, that's how you take a bump. Wrestling.
Mojo.
Well, Gronk left shortly after that, didn't he? Do you think he was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, fuck this.
Fuck this. The Thunderdome is what I wanted to talk about. I think it's important that we reference it and maybe give our thoughts. Sam, general thoughts? You a fan of the Thunderdome?
Yeah, it's kind of crap.
Oh, Sam's in one of those moods tonight, listeners. I just get that vibe from him.
Hey,
John,
hey.
What about you? No. If you say it's bad, then we move on.
Oh, okay.
No, go on, carry on. Give more thoughts.
No, I've got a little Thunderdome game for you guys.
What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Thunderdome, true or false?
Okay.
Okay. I took note of some people wearing specific outfits during Thunderdome. I want to see if you guys can guess true or false. If these appeared on screen.
Okay.
I did try and memorise every single person, so hopefully.
Good, because there was only about 12 and they just kept swapping them round. A Mickey Mouse doll in front of a red curtain with his arms outstretched.
Yes. Well, I did see some guy with a red bow in his hair, with a beard and a white face. Was that Mickey Mouse?
It may
True.
have been.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there was indeed a Mickey Mouse doll there.
Okay.
Ooh.
A man with a replica of the 24/7 title.
Oh, yeah, there were quite a few replica titles, I
Of the
think.
24/7 title, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know if there was the... Can you even get that? I suppose, of course you can. Let's go true.
I think I did see someone with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A young boy wearing a propeller hat.
Rings a bell, but that might be my hope rather than reality.
Yeah, and we've got to get a false one at some point.
False,
Let's go for
yeah.
true. Let's go for true, though. Oh, okay. I'll go
False.
true.
It's false. There was no such thing as a propeller hat. Come on, guys. A man holding up a bottle of hand sanitizer the whole time.
I saw that guy. That is true.
It isn't.
It's like he was advertising it.
It was very strange. A man in a demonic smiling clown mask.
Oh, there was definitely a guy in a Fiend mask.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the Fiend, mate.
I'm not sure that was the Fiend. But
I'm
No,
going
but
true.
just that
Was
I thought
true.
you were mistaking the Fiend walking to the ring as somebody
no,
on the screen.
It looked more like a Jigsaw, but yeah, man in a smiling demonic clown mask. A few more. Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian.
True.
Yeah.
Yep, it's true. A woman holding her phone up to take a photo of the screen during an exciting spot.
Oh, definitely true. I think
True.
I would do that.
Yeah, that's true. A sign saying "Fire Velveteen Dream."
Oh, yes.
True.
Very true.
That
I
snuck
think
in there.
There was a couple different
Yeah.
ones.
A
Did
flaccid.
you-
Oh,
So
Oh, a flaccid. Hello.
you see where this is coming from? A flaccid penis.
No.
Oh,
no,
God, no, surely not.
No, there were no flaccid penises, much to my surprise. Final one. A sign calling for the resignation of Chilean President Sebastian Pinera.
Oh, that sounds like the kind of thing you might make up.
Oh, there was. I did see a sign that was in Spanish, so yeah, I'm going true.
I did indeed Google it. Renuncia Pinera. Basically, calling for the resignation of Prime Minister or President Sebastian Pinera. And that's
Okay.
Thunderdome or false, the game.
Wow.
Right. Well, yeah, listeners, if you like that, then let us know, and Sam can do that every week.
It is weird. I tell you what, it works really well in some matches. Like, I thought it worked really well when they're animated, like in the Drew, Randy, and Asuka, Sasha matches. But for the matches where, like during the Seth Dominic match, like there was a massive powerbomb in that match and no one reacted. Like, it was just, no one gave a shit.
Well, it's because like no sound is actually coming from those people.
No.
And so that, because I thought at times they synced things up quite well, like better than I've seen in the past. But you're right, there were just times where you'd expect a massive pop and there was just nothing. I also thought there was quite a lot of it that sounded like boos, even though it wasn't. Like when Braun made his entrance, it sounded like he was getting booed. And I noticed that on Raw, last night's Raw, with Drew McIntyre coming out, it sounded like he was getting booed.
God, imagine Braun Strowman getting booed.
Yeah, who'd have
That seems crazy, doesn't it, John?
Yeah,
but,
unbelievable.
I mean,
stuff.
they definitely, WWE would not be pressing the boo button. I just think
Not for our beloved Universal Champion.
Exactly. I don't know if you guys are being genuine. But I mean, I quite liked it. I thought it looked really cool. Like the wide shots looked good. I imagine it's much better for the wrestlers to actually feel as if they're kind of performing in front of some people. I know they're not real, but it's still a lot of people.
As opposed to actually performing in front of people, which is what they were doing.
No, but there's about 1,000 live feeds there, apparently, up to 1,000. I know some of them are duplicated, but there are a lot of unique feeds coming through.
Yeah.
Apparently they rotated them every like 15 to 30 minutes. They got rotated.
It was quite a cool idea. I'm not sure if it necessarily added anything though. But I think, fair play for trying it.
Yeah,
and actually, it probably is better than the empty seats, isn't it? It does feel a little bit more.
It's a really difficult
in
situation. So.
Feels more big time, I think. Felt like more of a big deal. Just a shame there was no smiley face T-shirt guy or the Jesus guy and his mum in the front row.
Yeah,
you would have thought they would have hooked them up.
Maybe next time.
Okay, so that's the Thunderdome discussed. Comms team, we had the usual suspects: Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, Samoa Joe. Sam, who was on the card? We don't have pre-show Jones here.
Pre-show Jones
you can tell
not
us
here.
about it anyway.
So there was Apollo Crews versus MVP for the US title. No one of us know how that went though.
Apollo Crews won. I do know that.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, but did you just say no one of us knows how that went?
I think that's probably what I said. Yes. We roll with it. No need to edit there. Bayley versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza with Zelina Vega for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville in a no disqualification loser leaves WWE match. That match was originally going to be a loser shaves their head match, and then because of Sonya Deville having to go to court soon, she was recommended to not shave her head and turn up to court.
Yeah, just to clarify, it's not because she's been charged with it.
Yeah, no. Awful what happened to her. Random madman.
I don't even know about this. But,
really?
Maybe you don't want to go into it. I can just Google
very
it.
quick sidebar. It's interesting. Crazy fans sending her loads of messages and then broke into her house.
Tried to kidnap her, apparently.
Yeah, tried to kidnap her with a knife and pepper spray.
Oh,
yeah, it's awful.
What's the big deal? I mean, dreadful.
Okay, cool.
Let's move on.
Seth Rollins versus Eddie Guerrero's son, Dominic Mysterio, in a street
come
fight.
on. Don't disrespect the great man like that. Rey Mysterio I'm talking about, not the other.
Okay.
I mean, he's great. They're both great men, actually.
As I say, you'd be happy if your two dads were Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, my God. They'd be the best gay dads ever, wouldn't they?
Yeah, totally. Asuka versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. Drew Mack versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. And then finally, the Fiend.
That'll come. That'll be his next gimmick.
The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the Universal Championship.
There we go. So as usual, we are going to discuss what we think are the key matches first, sort of go in depth on those before we pick out best of the rest and worst of the rest and some other bits and bobs that if you're a regular listener, you know by now. So the first key match, this, I guess it's going to be 2 matches in a little package. We're going to talk about Asuka's performances against, what are they called again? The Golden
Role Models.
Golden, yeah, I always want to say Golden Lovers, but we know that is wrong, and a tag team that doesn't exist anymore, so sadly. So first up was Asuka versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. John, what did you think of this?
So this kicked off the show and was bloody brilliant. Like, obviously, Bayley's been probably like the MVP of WWE across the sort of lockdown period, and this match continues that, really. Like, she was brilliant in it. There was a absolutely brutal like turnbuckle like sunset bomb that like made the whole ring shake.
Yeah.
And it was just a really good wrestling match. And for most of this pay-per-view, I thought, okay, I think Asuka versus Bayley is probably going to be my best match. And then Asuka versus Sasha Banks happened, and it blew me away.
Wow. Okay, I'm quite surprised by this. I enjoyed both of the matches, but I thought they were both sort of good, not spectacular. So
I'm with John on this. I thought both of these matches were excellent. I think they both had really well executed storylines. Like, you can tell all 3 of these wrestlers are just so talented. And the first match was kind of a more technical submission match, which was really, really cool, because you don't see a lot of Bayley's submission game often. And then the Sasha Banks Asuka match had a lot more kind of hard hitting spots, especially the apron sunset power bomb.
Oh, I think I felt the floor move here where I live.
Yeah.
When she hit that.
The great thing about that was the fact that literally like 10 seconds later, Sasha just booted her in the head in the corner. You'd think there'd be a little bit of a time for her to readjust and get used to the fact that her brain's just rattled around her skull.
I think they just did such a good job, especially in the Sasha Asuka match, of just mixing like these crazy high flying bits with just this brutality, like the way they were hitting each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my word. So good. I loved this match. I really did.
That's mad. Yeah. I'm just looking, and I gave both of them 3 stars. Just sort of, good. Like, I enjoyed them, but I thought they are capable of slightly better matches. I think they've already had slightly better matches in
to be honest, I do agree. Like, I would say if I had to give this a star out of 5, I would say 3 stars. I think both matches were just solid, good matches. I really enjoyed them. And perhaps kind of like almost wish they weren't broken up into 2 different matches and just made the main event.
Yeah, I kind of wish that it was maybe like that would have been called double main event, wouldn't it? Although it'd be a bit brutal on Asuka doing it twice.
It would be.
Yeah. I mean, and she basically completely healed during the break, because when she came out for her entrance, there was no selling at all until she'd done her entrance, and then there was a little bit of limping.
Was that because like the whole time Bayley was shouting at her, "Go for the leg, go for the leg"?
No, but I mean on the entrance. Like, she came out and did her full entrance. She was fine with all the movement, and you would have expected her to ham that up a bit. They didn't even have any, usually they get some
for sure.
Bandages, don't they, wrapped around the rib cage
or
something.
The old Daniel Bryan WrestleMania trick.
Yeah, you've got to have that bandage around your belly, the useless bandage. But yeah, the second match I maybe liked slightly more, the Sasha Asuka one, because I really enjoyed some of the mat wrestling they were doing, as you guys said. The Asuka lock looked particularly good, and then all the different counters that Sasha's capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
really cool.
just the last sequence where it was like this bank statement counted into like the Asuka lock, and it was just, it was perfect. It was such a great match, such a great ending. I always think that the Sasha versus Charlotte stuff, they did on Raw like years ago, was like the best of Sasha. But since she's come back from her hiatus and like working with Bayley and they've sort of done the heel turn, I think she's better than ever. I think all 3 of these women are so talented and so good at the moment.
Absolutely. I think if I had one criticism of this, it would basically be that the ending of the Bayley Asuka match essentially kind of very much kind of foreshadowed exactly what was going to happen in the Sasha Asuka match final. Like, kind of, it was very, very obvious that that's what they're going to go with, and they very much hammered that home if it wasn't obvious enough already with all the really bad commentary.
Well, you mean sort of Sasha taking a hip attack in Bayley's match,
exactly
but
that,
Bayley not doing the same. I quite like that because it's kind of links the two.
I do like it. I just think
line.
they kind of. I don't think the commentary did it any favors, to be honest, because it was kind of after the Bayley Asuka match. It was very much a Sasha took a bullet for her. Sasha took a bullet for her. Do you think should do the same for Bayley? Just kind of bad. And then like Michael Cole's commentary as well for a lot of this was very much just like, and Bayley's put her in a submission. What a unique move. And it's just like, man, you've been doing this for long enough to actually know some of the move names by now. So, yeah. Nothing on the wrestlers. Commentary, I think, was awful.
Okay, well, there you go. That's sort of two matches spoken about together. Wow, how efficient. But yeah, obviously loads of narrative going on there. I think they're dealing with the whole Sasha versus Bayley stuff, the struggle between the best friends, a lot better than they did sort of pre the tag team championships coming out.
I never thought I'd say this either, but I hope they don't split them up anytime soon.
No, let's just keep it going for a while.
Yeah,
SummerSlam would have been the big time to do that. Now, realistically, probably Survivor Series earliest.
Yeah.
We shall see. Okay, next key match then will be Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. A quick shout out, by the way. I was gonna do this at the end, but I just want to do this now, partly because I can promote my own work. But did you see Tuesday Night Jaw had fucking Drew McIntyre as a guest last week?
That is
on the podcast.
When's he appearing on our podcast, Adam?
He's not replying to my calls.
When you say promote your own work, just quickly, as a graphics designer.
Yeah, because I did the design of the new Tuesday Night Jaw artwork. So if anybody wants to see that.
For a second there, I thought you might have been like host of Tuesday Night Jaw and just WCW'd us or something. That's fine.
Yeah. Tuesday Night Jaw's currently going out now, but it's pre-recorded. I did it a couple of hours ago. No, Kirsty Bosley, or Bozzers, is the new host, and she's doing a wonderful job. It's a really cool new format, but I just thought that's pretty mad to get the champion on the podcast, because you would have thought they wouldn't be allowed to do that kind of stuff, but he was kind of in character for a lot of it. Kirsty or Bozzers was sort of going, and how do you think Randy's going to cope with the Claymore and those kind of questions? Yeah. So, but
wow.
You know,
Tuesday Night Jaw have Drew McIntyre. We can't even get Brett to turn up.
Well, who's the bigger name though? Really, come on.
Okay. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Sam, what did you reckon?
This was one of those few matches of the year where I think Randy Orton puts in the effort and you end up with a decent match. I think it was slow, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either. In the fact that kind of it was Randy Orton sort of doing Randy Orton things, kind of skulking around the ring and kind of looking for just basically big hits and then kind of getting out of dodge. I think the match itself was enjoyable. Some great kind of interactions between the two of them. So yeah, decent match, I would say.
Do you know what? This reminded me of like a proper WWE main event, like pay-per-view main event. Like it felt like Randy versus Cena. You know, it had that sort of big fight feel to it.
Absolutely. I think kind of they've done a good job with the build-up for this, and it had me believing, you know what, they could give this to Randy. All the stuff is there.
Anytime Randy's in a title fight, there's always a good chance they're putting the title on Randy.
And so, yeah, I mean, I thought this was a decent match. There's some lovely spots in it that kind of flowed quite nicely. What did you think, Adam?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I've grown to like it more than I did in the moment, because I did find it sort of a little bit slow, and it's one of those where these kind of big title matches really miss a crowd, and we'll get to that as well with the next one, I think. Just that there's just moments where you could imagine the crowd popping or the crowd chants happening or them booing Randy. Yeah. You know, when they're piping in the boos for Randy, it's just like, well, that's not real, and so it just makes it all a bit awkward. But yeah, I agree. I when we started doing this podcast, I really, really disliked Randy, and I really wanted them just to get rid. He was on my list of just vanilla wrestlers I don't care about, because he didn't care either, did he? But I think you're right. He's made the effort, and I think he's been making a lot more effort over the last, I don't know, 6 months.
Since Edge came back, really, isn't it?
Since the virus appeared.
What a coincidence. I am convinced that Randy Orton has a twin brother, and they basically like take turns wrestling for WWE, and one of the twins is like really decent wrestler, cares about like the title and his storylines, and kind of does a lot of kind of good stuff, and the other one is the Randy Orton who puts his hand down his pants and shakes hands with people and kind of occasionally will put on a match with a Dolph Ziggler or something where it just doesn't look like he gives a fuck.
Yeah,
I think that's probably true.
I think this is Randy is the best he's ever been. I think promo wise,
that's a huge shout. That
honestly, certainly the best I've ever seen him. The best I've ever seen him in WWE. I mean, I say WWE. What else have I seen of him? I just think promo wise, he's been unbelievable. And although like the Edge match at WrestleMania was dog shit, I think their other match was it Extreme Rules,
the greatest match of all time ever.
Yeah, I thought that was a really decent match, and I think I loved this match with McIntyre. I thought it was brilliant. I especially loved the ending of this match, where it was that both these guys are kind of defined by the big finishing move, the Claymore and the RKO, and just to finish it off with like a reversal into a backside.
That was a fucking amazing finish. I like that
so good
as well. Would you say this was better than the greatest wrestling match of all time?
Yeah, because it was shorter.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, absolutely no way. Mana. That was...
What was that? Have you had a stroke? You're right. Can you smell toast? Adam, can you smell toast?
It's because I said no way twice. And then that fucking song. What was that song?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No way. Don't get fresh with me.
No, I don't know what you're
Oh, God. I'm not losing the plot, guys. I'm sure people will know what I'm talking about.
This is where you need a Brett just to kind of bail you out.
It's some awful song, though. It's some embarrassing, like, girl. It's not like Bewitched. Apparently, they're called
Daphne and
Vanilla.
Celeste. Okay.
No, it came out in 2007.
Mana mana. Mana mana. No way, no way. Mana mana.
This match had a good powerbomb in it.
Oh, very good powerbomb. Second great powerbomb of the night.
Yeah.
Thanks for saving me, Sam.
You're welcome, man.
I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. I miss Brett.
But yeah, I think kind of back to your point, John, about the finish and the kind of how it was the two wrestlers who are defined by their finishes, finishing it with a roll up in the end was a really clever finish to the match, and it was a good match. Again, one of the things I would criticize is the fact that I think kind of SummerSlam should act as the punctuation point to a lot of feuds, and it just felt like this was a blip in the road of that feud.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that. I'm interested to see where this goes.
I think I'm okay with it too, all things considered. Okay, well, shall we move on to the next key match, the final key match, and the final match of the night, which was the Falls Count Anywhere match for the Universal Championship, and it was Braun Strowman versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt. And I've got to say, watching this promo package, I think we should probably admit that over the last few weeks we have not been keeping as up to date with the weekly shows as we used to. I know it's not like we'd watch them religiously, but I personally haven't even been reading up about them as much as I used to.
Yeah, I have no idea who this Fiend guy is.
No, I enjoyed, like, for a change, usually when we're watching these, when the promo packages come on, sometimes, I'll have a quick look on my phone or whatever. Sometimes I might even skip them. For this SummerSlam, I watched them all intently because it was a good way to actually get to grips with what's going on. And obviously WWE are good at them, so I think they managed to sell things quite well. I like this Braun character. I like the side of him. I like the look of the shaved head. It's definitely a good move. I like the fact that he was being a bit more intense. But then obviously when it came to the match, I mean, he's a one-trick pony, really. I mean, he was doing running power slams without even running. And it was just... Again, there were moments in it where if there was a crowd, it would have been great. When Braun got the box cutter and he was cutting up the ring, I think the crowd would have loved that because it's something a bit new and a bit fresh. and the Sister Abigail's happening, there would have been a bit of a pop. But in front of a load of TV screens, I just thought this was probably my least favourite match of the night.
I thought this match was bad. I think kind of when Braun Strowman slides into the ring with a knife and the most exciting thing he does is cut the fucking floor open, it's a little bit like, that could have been really cool there if you sliced up Bray Wyatt.
What were you expecting him to do?
I don't know, maybe just a quick slash down the back or something. That would have been cool.
Wow.
I thought he might chop off some of his dreads, to be honest with you. I honestly thought that was the route he was going.
The major criticism of this is basically it was Falls Count Anywhere, but ultimately the Falls Count Anywhere was they went into a back room.
Yeah, just that one bit, wasn't
Threw
it?
each other into the wall a bit and then came back to the ring. And it was just like, well, what was the point of that?
That bit was the best bit of the match, though, where Bray was throwing Braun across the room. I thought that bit was cool.
I particularly enjoyed the bit where they got shut into the walls and the TV went off. And I just pictured there's definitely some guy there, an intern with 2 remote controls, being like, I've got to get this right. Okay, that one. Okay, now that one. Because those things,
to black alone.
those TVs would not have just turned off because of that. It's like when they get chucked into the video screens and they glitch. You know, there's somebody there waiting.
Yeah.
But apparently the rumor is that, you know, that early bump where Bray got chokeslammed into the announce table.
Oh, that was so ugly, that bit.
Yeah, there's some rumours that really took the wind out of him, and they had a fair bit more planned backstage, but didn't get to do it. Yeah.
That was bad.
I mean, that's an excuse.
That did look nasty.
That might not be the case, but yeah, it looked really bad. I made a note of that. Terrible. But he got straight back up. You know, the Fiend did some Fiend shit near the beginning, getting back up, and...
I'm still a bit annoyed about how much of a beating the Fiend takes in these sort of matches. You know, it doesn't make him look particularly strong, I don't think. I know that obviously they can't make Braun look too weak. It's a difficult thing to balance, but...
I think because we've obviously been watching a lot of early Undertaker matches recently, and it's kind of a very similar template, isn't it, of kind of here's a wrestler who will get beaten up but will kind of look like an unstoppable force. Comparatively, it looks a little bit kind of pony.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I just sort of... I wish there was more out of this match. I think it was just a little bit kind of throw each other into a bunch of things, do some finishes, and then new champion. Also,
like the worst I've ever seen anyone take a Sister Abigail. Like, it doesn't seem like a hard move to take. I know Braun's quite tall, but it looked ugly.
I've got to say, actually, right at the start of this match, the Fiend did a Uranagi on Braun, and I was like, hold on, are we going to get some wrestling here from Bray Wyatt? Is he actually going to pull out some moves? Because that looked decent, especially on somebody like Braun Strowman, but it didn't really develop into anything, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I said, didn't I, when Braun got the title at WrestleMania, I was like, I'm really worried that his whole run as champ is going to be in front of no fans.
Yep, and even if there were 70,000 people there, it still would have been in front of no fans of his.
Oh, you absolute bitch.
Can I ask a serious question?
Yes.
Is this the first time either of us have popped for Roman?
Oh.
I loved his comeback.
Me too. Me too.
I was into it.
And then the realisation, like, oh, God. It's Roman.
No, because it looks like we might be going a different route.
No, I mean, we won't.
Is he going to be a heel?
We are.
No,
I think he's going to be a heel.
No, no way is he going to be a heel.
But I think we're going to get new music.
Yeah, I think we might get a new look, like new ring gear. And
I think that's maybe what he needs, just a lick of paint.
Did he have new teeth?
Yeah, apparently so. Lots of people take a piss out of him on Twitter for it, I think.
Really?
I thought he looked a little bit like an emo Edge.
He looked great.
Oh,
Didn't he
Dark Edge. What a name.
So good, like tanned and jacked, and the
great.
beard looked great.
The t-shirt, wreck everyone and leave. That's what.
It's pretty cool.
And also the fact that he was a bit like he was basically saying to Braun, like, you'd be nothing without me. I wouldn't be surprised if he. I think it's what WWE desperately need to do with him. If they want to get him over, make him a fucking badass heel.
Yeah, he sells too much merch. It's the whole John Cena thing, isn't it? He's too much of that company face, the guy that does the sort of Make-A-Wish and that sells all the merch. They're never going to turn him heel.
It will still sell. I think it would still sell. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, one thing I would say is Reigns wailing on Braun Strowman with the chair. And the camera angle, just the way it caught it, was like he really smashed that floor up with that
Yeah,
chair.
that was bad directing, wasn't it?
There was a lot of kind of weird bits in this whole area, actually, where kind of stuff was missed and we just had to kind of believe it. Stuff like the Sister Abigail kind of meant to be done on the wood, but kind of Braun gently landing on the mat, and then us just having to be like, oh, he hit the wood really hard. But yeah, the Roman Reigns, excellent. Really, really cool return. They did it really well.
Although immediately in the title picture, it almost feels like SummerSlam was just a go home for Reigns' title victory at Payback.
No, he's not going to win it then, is he?
Oh,
is he going to fight for it then?
I reckon. He's honestly, it's triple threat. Him, Braun, Fiend. Roman's coming home with the title.
Is that confirmed, or is that you just
I'm pretty sure that's confirmed.
speculating?
I think that's just your booking, John.
Oh, okay. Let me Payback.
I personally don't have a problem with it. I mean, he's their biggest star.
He's just come back.
WWE Universal Championship match, no holds barred, Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman.
See?
Fair play.
There we go.
I'm sorry, John. I just thought you made everything up for this pod, like the rest of us. But
We're getting Keith Lee versus Randy Orton as well.
Payback
Don't
might
get too
be
excited.
Good.
And that's this weekend. So that's, now we know what we're doing. We were going to do an Undertaking episode next week, guys, but nope. Now we're reviewing Payback.
It feels unbelievable to do a pay-per-view this soon.
Yeah.
I get an impression that this Payback pay-per-view is a little bit like the old Stomping... No, what was it? Was it Stomping Ground? What was the one that they basically pulled out of nowhere?
Great Balls. No. Randomly to... Well,
yeah,
wasn't it in reaction to AEW shows? And
I can't remember. It was that music-themed one. And it was possibly the worst pay-per-view of all time, but they basically just pulled it out of nowhere to test... I think it was to test the WWE Network update.
Oh, yeah.
Smackville. Good old Smackville. When are we going to get Smackville 2?
I think this weekend, by the looks of it.
But no, it's an interesting card coming up for that.
I think we need a few moments to reflect, remember Smackville, and question what the hell we're doing with our lives, watching all this stuff and then talking about it. I mean, we might not even be back after this break, but you're going to have to wait and see, because we're going to have a quick break. And then, who knows? Sorry.
Jeez, Adam.
Back first to the apron goes Andrade Cien Almas.
Okay, we've had a chat and we've decided that it wouldn't be fair to the listeners if we didn't return. And it wouldn't be fair to Brett to crumble without him being here. I think it would make him think that the podcast is nothing without him, and that's not quite true. So we're going to carry on with this review. All right, guys?
Are you sure? It sounds like
I
you're a
don't
little
sound
bit on the
convinced.
fence.
Yeah, it sounds
Let's
like
start
you're
again. Guys, we are back. It's WWE SummerSlam 2020. This is Hardest Part of the Ring. My name's Adam. This is Sam.
Hey!
That's John.
Hey!
And we're going to review some wrestling. We've talked about the key matches. Now we're going to do best of the rest. This is where we pick out a highlight. It could be a match, could be a moment, could be something particularly enjoyable that happened to you personally while you were sat on your sofa watching. But keep it family oriented, please.
Okay.
Who wants to go first? John,
Yes.
hit us with your best of the rest.
Okay.
What is it? Is it a match?
It is a match. I want to mention Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose.
Hell yeah.
This is what I was going to go for. Nice.
It wasn't like, it was a bit rough in places, like technically, but I think they did an amazing job of just getting like the sort of intensity across. Like it felt genuine.
Do you know
like,
what?
I
felt like this match belonged on NXT in a good way.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
I think obviously they're both still... I know they talk about being on the WWE roster for 5 years, but they're both still a little bit green.
Especially Mandy, I think.
Yeah.
I think Sonya Deville's a lot further along.
They're both developing really, really well. Like, I love the knee strike style wrestling that they both kind of bring to the game.
It was genuinely surprising for me how much better this match was than I expected. I was excited for it because of the gimmick, and I think Sonya Deville's promos have been...
She's
I was going to say
killing it
straight
recently.
fire, but that's too bad a pun considering she is the fire in Fire and Desire. But they were both excellent in this match. I really just thought they did a great job.
hold on.
Apart from picking up tables, of course.
She's the fire in Fire... I thought she was the Desire.
I always thought Mandy Rose was the Desire.
No, because Randy Rose is like hot like fire, and Sonya Deville desires her. Is that not?
No, I don't think that's the thing, is it?
Oh,
Just because she's a lesbian does not mean that she fancies her tag team partner.
no, I'm pretty sure that was entirely what the storyline was for a long time. That's not me like just being like, because she's gay, she must fancy her title.
She's gay. She definitely fancies the closest woman to her. No, well, maybe you're right, but I would have thought that Fire would be Sonya Deville because she's a fiery character, and everybody desires Mandy Rose.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I'm going to move this on ASAP, guys, before we get...
Please do. We're saying some problematic stuff.
I
We're
love
getting close.
Mandy Rose's new ring gear.
Yeah.
She didn't. She didn't enjoy constantly pulling it out of her bum.
Also,
Did she?
I didn't notice that. I noticed that...
Answer the point, John.
Sonya Deville was constantly pulling up her trousers, actually. Like, get a belt.
Yeah. Get a belt. Get a
She's been
title
trying
belt.
to get a belt.
Hey, nice. Yeah, anyway, that's all I have to say about this match. Good ring gear, good match. Like it.
Yeah, I quite like as well the build up to this. It's really kind of maybe laid on a little bit thick, but I guess kind of the thing is I like Sonya Deville walking around in a suit with a black tie, black shirt, black suit, just kind of chatting shit. I think she's going to do really well when she comes back from this kind of court case bullshit that she's sadly been put into, which is just awful.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I like to think that WWE Creative had the same thought I did when Otis came down to the ring. Oh shit, Otis has got the briefcase.
Yeah. I was like, what? Hold on, what can he cash in? Is he gonna cash in? Is he gonna try and keep Sonya Deville?
What the fuck are they going to do with Otis in that briefcase?
So yeah, I mean he's in a real trouble, isn't he? Because Otis realistically is going to need to either cash in on the Fiend, which good luck,
Or Roman Reigns after next weekend.
or Roman Reigns, or Braun Strowman, or Drew McIntyre, or Karrion Kross. So have fun, Otis. Figure that one out.
Or
Tag titles.
Akira Tozawa, 24/7 champ.
That would be quite
that would
funny
be
if he cashes in for that. Actually. It'd ruin his career, but I mean, it would be funny.
It would be funny.
I think I would respect how outrageous that would be.
Cool. So another best of the rest. Sam, do you want to go?
Yeah, I had an enjoyable piece of commentary that I'd like to bring to light here. During the Andrade and Angel Garza versus the Street Profits match, Angel Garza, as he's wont to do, tears off his pants, and one of the commentators goes, Angel Garza rips off his pants, in which Byron Saxton then goes, finally. And then Corey Graves just goes, what?
That was really good. I remember that. I enjoyed that at the time. That also had the bit of commentary during that match with Kevin Owens, didn't it? Where Andrade did the armbar over the ropes, and Kevin Owens was like, "It's very illegal, but it's very effective."
Honestly, I think for me, Byron Saxton low-key remains one of the funniest people in all of WWE.
Yeah, he's so
I've come
isn't he? He's good.
I've come round to him. Yeah. I also think he's a pro because there was a little bit where, I can't remember which match it was, but it was a bit where there was some problems with the announce table. But you could see the commentary in the background slowly like getting the desk back together, putting the monitors back up, adjusting their chairs. And you could see Byron Saxton doing that whilst he was commentating. He was actually making this really quite good point, but he was moving his chair and he was looking down and then he sat down halfway. I was like, that is professional to keep going whilst he's doing that.
Hardest part of the ring is the only place you can hear Byron Saxton appreciation.
Yes. Byron Saxton
We
fan
salute
club.
you, Byron. The match itself was also pretty good, and I enjoyed having Kevin Owens on commentary.
KO on commentary was good. I thought the match was such an obvious TV match.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It
not
was
loads
fine.
to say.
It could be a
about
main
that.
event, SmackDown or Raw, doesn't matter.
Okay, well, let's go on to another best of the rest. My best of the rest would be interesting to hear your thoughts on this.
Don't do it, Adam.
Well, no, it's not the main event. Oh no, we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
It's the street fight between Dominic Mysterio and Seth Rollins. And the reason I liked it is because it's a lovely little story, an absolute legendary wrestler walking down to the ring with his son, and his son actually doing pretty well. Yes, he's a charisma vacuum, but I think he did an absolutely great job. I really appreciated Seth Rollins. He deserves a lot of credit for getting Dominic through that match and selling for him and making him look like a real talent. And I don't know. I quite enjoyed the narrative. It was very WWE, but I quite enjoyed that. The handcuffs. I enjoyed Angie coming down. I enjoyed the early bit in the promo backstage when Ray like slapped Angie in the tit. Did you see that? Well, he like reached out to grab her and he like grabbed one of her breasts by accident. I'm probably the only person who noticed that. But all in all, I just thought there was loads of drama. I made absolutely loads of notes because constantly writing down things that were happening. Frog splashes, superplexes into Falcon Arrows, handcuffs, Murphy trying to redo the eye thing with Ray. Just all sorts of entertaining things. And for a sports entertainment match, I liked it.
I'm 100% with you here. I thought this match was basically a Spanish soap opera of a match. Which seems very appropriate. It was a good debut, to be honest. Kind of, obviously, it's early days for him, but I'm happy. Great. I'm happy for him to kind of keep going. I can't wait to see where kind of he goes. I think kind of it would have been ridiculous if he had gone over. It's good for Rollins to get the win, and I'll be interested to see kind of what he goes with his development. I hope he kind of is the next Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, just kind of young generation superstar coming through, doing well.
He's very like Cody Rhodes in the fact that he likes getting thrashed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That stuff, I mean, obviously the way that they sort of changed the filter on the camera to make those look a lot worse. But, oh, my God, that beatdown with the kendo stick was terrible. Like, it was brutal. They really go for it. I think we need to order a kendo stick, Sam.
Do you know what? I always used to think I could take a kendo stick. And it
wasn't
very
that flexible.
Bad. But
I reckon
in recent times, ever since Charlotte beat down Ronda Rousey and kind of these recent beatdowns with kendo sticks, I'm starting to reevaluate whether I could take that.
You've got to do it right. You've got to get it right. I reckon it'd be very easy to like slice somebody up or get it completely wrong. But I'm having a look on eBay. If you Google, I'm on eBay. It's not Googling. That is conditioning for you. I'm searched for kendo stick on eBay and there's just a load of...
Did you say I'm searched for kendo stick?
I've searched. Okay. There's lots of... we're not good at talking. That's why we started the pod to improve. There's lots of weird models of samurai warriors holding kendo sticks.
Really?
There's a £7 a kendo stick accessory for a WWE wrestling figure for £7. It's all WWE stuff. We'll look into it, listener.
Type in kendo stick. The first thing that comes up is a kendo stick for £24.
Well, where did you type it?
eBay.
Guys, podcast listeners.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, we're doing a podcast.
Anyway, basically what we're saying is next time we're together, I want to smash a kendo stick over Sam's face. Back.
Jesus.
Chest.
Okay, cool.
Arm. Good. Let's move on then. Any other best of the rest that we want to give a quick shout out for, or should we go on to worst?
Should we go on to worst of the rest?
Worst of the rest.
Let's do it. I'm going to go first because mine is going to be quick. I actually have nothing. I genuinely enjoyed the whole thing. I don't think anything was spectacular, but I thought every single match was good to great. So there you go, guys.
Interesting.
How are you going to react to that?
So yeah, I don't like being threatened by the guy I do podcasts with. That's one of my worst of the rests. I'm a little bit afraid of him.
Did Brett just text you?
No, you with your kendo sticks. I feel all a bit awkward and scared now. I have nothing as well, but kind of I would say that's a bad thing. I don't think anything in this... I felt like this was the most cookie cutter kind of just by the numbers pay-per-view WWE have done for a very long time, and I think kind of it was a bit boring.
Sam, only you could come away from this pay-per-view thinking there was nothing in that I didn't like. I hated that.
Fair.
I can't wait for the scores. John, what do you think? Do you have a worst of the rest?
Oh, I definitely have a worst of the rest. It's fucking Seth Rollins versus Dominic. I can't listen to you guys eulogise about it for 20 minutes and not say something. That match was fucking garbage. The whole family stuff was rubbish. The fact the wife came out was rubbish. The fact that this was 20 minutes of Seth Rollins beating up this poor green kid was for nothing. In this entire feud, Seth Rollins won all the fucking time. He's blinded his dad. He's beat the shit out of him. Awful.
I mean, when you put it like that, yeah, I see your point. What did you think of Seth Rollins' ring gear? The reference to Halloween Havoc.
That's really
97.
nice.
Kind of cool.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for bringing it back. WCW is my safe place. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. And to be fair, there was a killer powerbomb in this. Like Seth fucking destroyed that kid with that powerbomb.
What about Dominic's ring gear with his bloody hood kept on flapping up onto his head?
Yeah, it was a bad choice.
Bad choice. I mean, he did all right, but he was too green, and I hated this whole storyline.
Where should Dominic be? Should he be on NXT? Should he be in the Indies? What do you think?
Well, it's just weird because obviously we heard a lot about Dominic before he even appeared on TV. Like he was training in down in the Performance Centre, and he's been there. It feels like he's been there for a good few years, but I don't feel that I got that in the ring. Where you see that McVeigh guy. Like, he's not been down the Performance Centre. He fucking looks legit.
Well, I mean, McAfee used to be housemates with Baron Corbin, so he obviously learnt some wrestling.
We're going to need to clarify how to pronounce his surname. Two completely different attempts.
McAfee.
But I'd probably go with Sam over Brett.
Yeah, probably.
Brett isn't even here.
Harsh.
Terrible with names tonight. I'd definitely go with Sam over John. Just track record. Anyway, I'm glad that you had a rant. And I hope you feel better.
I do. That was very cathartic. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening.
My star performer choice is not going to make you happy.
Yep.
Because I'm going to pick Dominic Mysterio. Because
You fucking troll.
I mean, he looked so nervous, I thought. When he walked out, he looked very, very nervous. And I just thought, wow, this is mad. Like, he spent his whole life watching his dad, who's been one of the greatest, to come out to this. I mean, lucky there was no crowd because he would have probably shit his pants. But
yeah, definitely.
and like I said, he's got no charisma. I really like he has no facial expressions at all, and I don't believe he'll go on to be one of the best because he hasn't got the all-round package. But an amazing debut. So yeah, he's my star performer. Who's yours, Sam?
Do you think they missed a trick not having him wrestle in a mask? That could have been cool.
Yeah.
Fuck it. My favourite is also Dominic Mysterio. Fuck you, John.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Whose is yours, John?
Sasha.
Okay,
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's the second best choice.
A wrestler.
So overall, just to confirm that the majority of us agree, Dominic Mysterio, number one SummerSlam performance.
I honestly thought we were going to spend like 30 minutes trashing that match. I'm so disappointed.
I don't think it was bad. It was fine. It wasn't amazing. Seth Rollins carried him the whole time.
I think that's the beauty of this podcast. One of the great things is that after all these years, we still do not know how people are going to react to matches. We expect people to feel one way and they feel the other. And I say after all these years because this was our fourth SummerSlam, wasn't it? This is our fourth SummerSlam review.
That's right.
Our second ever episode was SummerSlam 2017. And here we are. Anyway, overall rank is the part where we give a score out of 10 to the pay-per-view. We didn't do it back in those early days, but we've done bloody loads of them since. Sam?
Oh, yeah. Straight up 5 out of 10.
Okay.
It was
Not
absolutely
shocking.
It was fine. I don't think it was as good as it could have been. I don't think it was as terrible as last year.
God, can't even remember.
Just for reference, last year I gave it 2.5 out of 10 and nearly got bullied off the podcast.
How could I not remember that? How could I have forgotten? John, what do you think?
I'm going 6. There were 2 matches I really loved and 1 match I thought was really good, but the rest was meh.
Okay. Well, I mean, as I said before, yeah, nothing spectacular, but pretty much everything was above average. So a 7 for me.
That's a beautiful 6 out of 10.
Average 6. That's easy to work out.
Yep.
Okay, where does that rank, Sam?
Beneath all our previous SummerSlams. Overall.
Oh, that's mad.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the thing. Like you
how
always
bad
said.
last year's was.
Yeah. Wow.
Overall, SummerSlam 2020 fits nicely between Clash of Champions 2019 and King of the Ring 1993. Actually on a par with King of the Ring 93.
There you go then.
Very
what
good.
does that tell you?
Yeah. It's an absolutely okay pay-per-view.
Brilliant. Okay, well, let's have a little break again and find out what the listeners thought of it.
Oh, face first into the apron of the ring. There's very little padding there. A dangerous area. It's not wrestler friendly, I can tell you.
Okay, we asked listeners to let us know what their favourite moments from SummerSlam and NXT were. And we have WrestlePlug. Favourite thing from TakeOver was Dakota Kai proving why she belongs in the main event. From SummerSlam, it's the WWE title match. How amazing and refreshing to watch Orton in one of his best roles and to see both guys have an epic match without finishers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and again, that's something I didn't really realise whilst I was watching it, but that is a really cool element of that match. Cool.
Broken but Glorious. Ladder match was a lot of fun. Trevor Lee was my MVP. Completely agree with that. He was amazing. Favourite moment. Reed squashing Johnny Gargano and Candice on his back. Really enjoyed SummerSlam, maybe more than TakeOver. I would agree with that as well. Asuka winning the title and Mandy versus Sonya was really good.
We should say, for those that don't know, Trevor Lee, of course, was the name that Cameron Grimes had.
Oh, yep.
In the Indies.
I was about to ask who's Trevor Lee, but
I mean, he was great.
he was really good, yeah.
Talking about charisma, complete opposite to Dominic there.
Yeah.
Absolute
I'd
bags
say
of it.
out of the TakeOver, actually, that ladder match perhaps kind of provided the most interesting insight as to kind of the future of NXT. And it's exciting to see kind of the Bronson Reeds, Cameron Grimes, and even Damian Priest, who I think is continuing to improve every time I see him wrestle.
Yeah.
It was really good, that ladder match.
And that the splash with Candice on the back was amazing. That was my match of the weekend, I think. Cool.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
Good. Yes, sorry. Graham Hughes from NXT. Bronson Reed splashing onto Johnny Gargano from the ladder with Candice on his back. SummerSlam, the power slam Asuka took from the apron to the floor. Did not like finding out Keith Lee is moving to Raw. More wrestling to find time to watch.
Don't worry, Graham. I wouldn't bother. Don't catch up on last night. It'll just depress you.
Okay, Andrew Glenn's been in touch. He sent us an image with the caption Noodle Cup Champion. I have no idea what this means.
Well, he's done an illustration. Andrew Glynn, I think he's another illustrator who does quite a lot of wrestling stuff. Yeah, and this image is Asuka wearing a big cup noodles costume, holding a belt. And Sam, that is because...
Yeah, so Asuka is sponsored by Cup Noodle, I guess. Either way, after her matches with Sasha and Bailey, she had a photo shoot afterwards in which she was in a giant noodle cup outfit.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she is sponsored or if it's just a thing that she absolutely loves eating them, and so they sent like a representative there. But I mean, again,
we're fine with either way.
We could both be wrong.
Yeah.
But I saw the video of this. It's so funny. Asuka with her overacting, like having a taste of the cup noodles and just being like, listen, and really loving it.
Asuka
and then
is
putting
the
on the
best.
outfit. She is.
Can I make her my star performer, actually? I feel bad now.
No, because that means Dominic doesn't win.
Yeah, I know, but he shouldn't have won, should he? I mean, we were just fucking with John there.
Hey. Okay, fine. Carry on, John.
Sorry, guys. Okay, we also have Tom. He said Thatcher's reaction to Balor's leg giving out after a failed coup de grace was absolutely brilliant. Asuka being alive after that apron bump from Sasha, mainly just because I thought she had died from the FUD that came with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was the spot of the night for me, that apron bond.
Asuka actually tweeted about it afterwards, saying she's absolutely fine.
But moments after the match, she wore a cup noodles outfit. So, I mean, there is evidence to prove otherwise.
Cole Luckhurst has been in touch. He says from NXT, Cole versus, how are we going to pronounce this guy? What was our position?
He's called Pat McAfee.
McAfee surprised me.
I say McAfee because don't you know you got to remember, guys.
Can I point out? I used to work with him.
Did you?
Yeah, he worked for DAZN for a while.
Oh, when you were in the NFL.
Oh yeah, you're a quarter linebacker.
Yeah, that's right.
Waterboy.
Yeah, no, he used to be part of the DAZN side of things. We used to produce his show.
Oh,
but
nice.
I mean, yeah, McAfee.
Cole versus McAfee surprised me and was a decent performance. Yep, agree with that. SummerSlam, the story during Banks-Bailey matches against Asuka with the lack of help from Bailey, or some great performances in the Thunderdome for me. Some quality booing.
Not like we fucking heard it.
Yeah, but also I think you've just glossed over that. Some great performances in the Thunderdome from me. Some quality booing.
Completely.
Oh!
No way!
Oh,
yeah,
I read that
he
completely the wrong way.
He attached a photo as well.
Oh, neat.
To that tweet. Carl
I
Luckhurst
did not see that
somehow
photo. I'm gonna go
managed to
shout.
appear at SummerSlam because he was one of the members of the Thunderdome audience, which is pretty cool.
Neat. One of the.
I'd love to know what it's like. Are they just in a
I
Zoom?
read a
Is it a
report
Zoom
about
call
it.
that they join? Go on, tell us.
You get like an email link, and basically it said just join that, and then basically they give you a bunch of things that you should and shouldn't do. So any erotic acts, you're banned. Any kind of hate stuff, KKK outfits, you're banned. Any AEW t-shirts, you're banned. And then other than that, it's basically keep the camera still, cheer when they tell you, boo when they tell you.
I mean, erotic acts. There's a lot of leeway there, I reckon. I mean, it's not exactly a catch-all, is it? I reckon we can get around that.
I want to know if WWE have like developed their own platform or if it's just here's the Zoom invite.
Oh, they're blatantly using Zoom.
No, I think it is their own platform.
There's no way would they use their own proprietary software.
Well, they'd
No
probably
way.
just license something.
Maybe.
Oh, we could do a whole episode on this. This is fascinating.
I'm just having a look at the picture now. It's amazing.
So well done, Carl.
So cool. Oh, let us know how it was. Yeah, get in touch.
Yeah, the cool thing is that in years to come, he can be like, I was at SummerSlam 2020. And people be like, oh, that's so cool. And
Carl,
not
if you get on
actually-
again, can you hold up like a hardest part of the ring sign? I want to see if we can get onto TV.
Hey, we've had a hardest part of the ring sticker at WrestleMania a couple of years ago.
We have.
So we've essentially made it. I think there's one more comment.
Yes,
it was a
last
busy
one.
week.
Last one, loserweight. Takeover. Reed splashing Gargano with Candice on his back reminded me of Vader with Goldust with Luna on his back at No Way Out 1997. Great knowledge there. And from SummerSlam, Bayley throwing kicks at the Thunderdome fans during her entrance.
I missed that, but it sounds
I
great.
missed that too.
She was so good again. I love the little promo where she was going to sweep up, but she got the little broom.
Oh, those two have
She's
been
superb.
killing it.
Yeah, and I love her look, and I even love her jacket, like her little tracksuit zip up top. I don't quite want to buy one, but I just like her whole look. I think she's smashing it. Okay, thank you, listeners, for getting in touch. And to reward you, we have got to the bit where we're going to do the T-shirt giveaway. We're going to tell you how you can have a chance of winning. We have one large hardest part of the ring T-shirt. It is the. Why are you laughing? I think that's perfect for most wrestling fans, right?
I just like the idea that we're the only podcast that do a t-shirt giveaway where we tell you the size and then you guys change your body shape to that.
Yeah. I mean, you could say it's because of an admin error, meaning we have one spare T-shirt.
So if you are a large male fancying a podcast t-shirt...
Well, they're unisexy, can you?
They're unisexy. I like that.
Unisexy?
Yeah, I mean, women like wearing oversized T-shirts in bed.
Forgive me, ignore me, continue.
You can always yoke it as well.
Also, I'm generalising. Some women might not like that at all. Then some women might hate it. Anyway, this section's going perfectly. T-shirt giveaway. Follow us on Twitter. Retweet the tweet for this episode, which will be pinned to our profile during the day on Wednesday, and you'll be within a chance. And then on where are we? Payback. The Payback episode, we will draw a name from the hat, and we will post you the T-shirt. We'll chuck in some hardest part of the ring stickers and some badges. And some other random stuff we've got lying around, and you will be extremely happy and grateful. So that is the T-shirt giveaway. Woohoo!
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lovely T-shirts as well. It's my favourite design.
They're
of
actually like
T-shirts.
the most comfortable t-shirts I own.
Yeah, in fact, we should say it's not the original blue one; it's the one with the red writing. We'll tweet a picture of it as well, so you can go and have a look. But yeah, just even if you don't like the design, you may as well enter. It's free. It's free clothes. For God's sake. Next week, we'll be back with the Payback review. If people want to get in touch before then, Sam, why don't you tell them how to do it?
Yeah, if you want to drop us an email, why don't you shoot that off to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. Don't fancy email? You're a modern person. I respect that. Use social media. Catch us on Hardest Part Pod at Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. You want to buy something from us? Tough. We don't have a working shop at the moment. But you can win a t-shirt if you retweet our pinned tweet.
Nice. That I'm pretty impressed. For somebody who doesn't do social media, I'm impressed that you remembered what to say there. Well done, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Hopefully, Brett will be back next week. But until then, it's goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye to you, Sam.
See you later.
Goodbye to you, John.
Goodbye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring.
On the hard